Hi, this is Peter Bergdahl at photosubmissionsecrets.com, and in this short video I will show you a sneaky little tactic on how to spy on your fellow stock photographers to help you identify profitable markets for your images, so you can make a lot of money on microstock photography. It's a little bit sneaky, but it's perfectly legal, so let's get started. First you go to iStockphoto.com, and I'm already there. And this tactic works on many other microstock sites, but in this case we will use iStockphoto. And first you need to do is to make sure that everything except photos here is activated. When you come to the site first, then all of these are activated. Just deselect illustrations, flash, video and audio, because in this case we are only interested in photos. And then you need to make sure that you activate the number of downloads, and you do that by going into advanced search here. And then you activate downloads or show the details for downloads in the search result. This is typically off when you first come to iStockphoto, but you need to activate this. And once that is done, you just search for your first market, and in this case I selected trout fishing. Trout fishing, search for that here, and then we see the result we get for trout fishing. And the next thing you need to do here is to make sure you sort by downloads. Now it's sorting by best match, but we will sort by downloads in this case. So we sort by download, and here you can see the best or the most downloaded images for the keyword trout fishing, or for the market trout fishing. And what you see here is 523 search results for trout fishing. And that means there are 523 images in iStockphoto that's tagged for trout fishing. And this also means that the supply is 523 images for trout fishing. Obviously, right? And here you can see that the number of downloads for the most downloaded images tagged for trout fishing is more than 400. Second one is 200, third one is 100, and then the number of images on 100 downloads. And this is basically the demand, because every download is a paid download, right? So someone paid for downloading these images. So that means that the number of downloads is a good indication on demand. So here we can see then that the supply in this case is 523, and if we take the demand, we just use the most downloaded image, then the demand would be 400. Obviously, if you add up all the downloads for all the images, you would get much more, but just to make it simple, we use only for the most downloaded image, it's 400. Okay, let's try another market. We can try dog breeding and see what result we get. Okay, for dog breeding you see that there is only 83 search results. And that means that the supply for dog breeding is 83 images. And then we can see here that the number of downloads is 300 for the most downloaded image. So that means that the demand is 300 in this case. So what does this mean then, if we compare these markets, trout fishing and dog breeding? So if we look at trout fishing here, we see that we had a supply of 523 images and a demand of 400 downloads. So if we look at the ratio between demand and supply, it's 400 divided by 523. We get the ratio of 0.76. If we compare that to dog breeding, we had a supply of 83 images and we had a demand of 300 downloads. So if we divide demand with supply, we get 3.61. And obviously here, the higher number you get, the better market you have. Because if you have a limited supply and a high demand, you get a much higher quote between demand and supply. So a higher number means a better market. So of these two markets, I would say that dog breeding is an easier market to get into. Even though that the supply or the demand is still lower for dog breeding than it is for trout fishing, but because of the low supply here, it's an easier market to get into and to actually make profitable. So let's summarize this then. First, you need to deselect all categories except photos up here. So you deselect illustrations, flash, video and audio. You sort by downloads up here, and then you need to activate downloads in the advanced search menu here, so you can see the number of downloads. And then, but just when you read this, the result you get is that the downloads is the same as demand and the search result is the same as supply. So the key ratio here to look for is demand divided by supply, and the higher number you get, the better the market is. And just please remember, this result is just an indication, it's not an absolute truth. So just because the quote for one market is a few decimals better than the other one, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a better market, but it's still a good indication. So if you see a large difference in ratio, it's probably a good indication that the market with a higher ratio is an easier market to enter. So that's all for this video. I hope you found it interesting, and thank you so much for listening and watching.